Svetlana? Hello? Anyone home? Svetlana, did you feed the mice to the barracuda? I bought mice specifically for the barracuda. Yeah, in the tank. The barracuda and the piranha. The mice. Yeah. What do you think I'm keeping mice for? You fed the piranha to the barracuda? Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm surrounded by neophytes and sycophants. Svetlana, you were not supposed to feed one exotic fish to another. Why would you do this? I bought the mice for the barracuda, and you're supposed to chop it up half a mouse for each piranha. Whatever. Oh my God. Fine. That's great. I don't care. Coney Island? What? Wait, there is no Coney Island in Bulgaria or wherever you're from. Amy Coney Barrett. Why do I care? I don't care at all. No, the Supreme Court's not going to rule on my stolen computer. Whatever. Grass on the field, play ball, whatever. I'm talking... What? I was talking about the World Series. Svetlana, please... Okay, what did you do with my replica of the Castle of Grayskull? You did what? You turned it into a geranium? What did you say? That's like a 30-year-old $500 toy I bought. You put potted plants inside? Well, that's fantastic. You've completely massacred my exotic fish. You've made a mockery of my collectibles. And now you're worried about the Supreme Court as if you even know what it does. And I don't know why you're here interning to become a political consultant. Why do I even pay you the privilege of being an intern? Okay, Svetlana, I'm going to go now. Is there anything else you'd like to do to ruin my life? I mean, really. Oh, fantastic. Tony Bubala, I don't care. I don't care what Tony Bubala does. He's a turncoat. He's a Benedict Arnold. He was just upset because he didn't get a cut. Yeah, everybody knows I give money to my pops. Who cares? Who do you think the big man is, aside from the big man in my videos, if you know what I mean, Svetlana? All right, I'm going to go. Okay, bye. This is so annoying. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much for tuning in to the two best moderators in all of YouTube, Eric H526 and Luke St. Martin. Thank you so very, very much. And I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding, but I have Birds Nation 302. And I have the best viewership in all of YouTube. So to my super chat, thank you so much. People, it's happening. Slowly but surely it's happening. No president is perfect. There are things that Trump shouldn't have said, and there are things that he never said that people accuse him of saying. There are things that Trump shouldn't have done, but he didn't obliterate a country like President Obama and Biden and Clinton did with Libya, or Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld did with numerous countries. If you didn't engage in a NATO intervention that turned a country into a failed state, you're doing okay in terms of the pantheon of presidents that we've had. And the value system in our country is, Trump's personality is horrible, So let's vote for a Democrat who literally helped start and create the systemic injustices that Democrats are now trying to battle. You look at 100-to-1 sentencing disparity. So which is more racist? A boorish, uncouth thing that President Trump said, and by the way, he never disparaged all. The quotes he's been misquoted on pretty much everything, and if they actually quoted him accurately, they would see that it was like it was the media response to trying to create this narrative that this man is the most horrible monster. They'd see that this media narrative, and they use it against Bernie Sanders also. Does that mean that racists haven't latched on? Perhaps that might have been the case in certain parts of the country, but that made all 63 million people look bad. But then you have the Juicy Smolliers, those stories. And those racists exist all throughout President Obama's administration and every other administration. President Trump, you look at his actions. His actions speak louder than the words that have been misconstrued, or the words that have been put in his mouth, or the quotes that have been taken completely out of context. President Trump is the first president to make funding permanent and to allocate more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever. This is a fact. There's nothing bigoted about that. That's the opposite of racism. He's the first president ever to utilize the definition of anti-Semitism that the IHRA has defined to tell college campuses, hey, if you engage in this, your university is not going to get federal funding. If you have a problem with the definition they've used, go to the IHRA and then talk about how you're going to fight the 1930s and 1940s Germans. And they look up what the IHRA stands for and then tell me about history. And then tell me about how you disagree with that definition. But President Trump signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism, utilizing the definition of that word from the IHRA. President Trump has allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than any president ever, and made the funding permanent, and absolved $300 million in loans from Katrina, which is all fantastic. President Trump signed the First Step Act, which is prison reform legislation addressing the 100-to-1 sentencing disparities that it was Biden who helped craft and write. 100-to-1 sentencing disparities. 100-to-1 sentencing disparities. Meaning 100 generally people of color and 1 his son. Birds Nation 302, Count Boobala. I'm starting to think you were the big guy. Count Boobala, hello, Simon. Hunter's Moon X Graham. ACB Gauntlet Throwdown, your move. Exactly. Hunter's Moon X Grim. I'm talking. Hello. I will be president, not Biden. Excuse me. I'm talking here. That Pence easily won. Pence easily won the debate. But you have Hunter's. I'm talking. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very, very much. I'm talking. Thank you. It's interesting that you have Amy Coney Barrett as President Trump's third Supreme Court pick. And he has 200 federal judges. and we reached record low unemployment. And any president, it doesn't matter who the president is, would have been blindsided by the pandemic, because guess what? If you had a Democrat, would they have run the nation the way Cuomo ran New York, the way Murphy ran New Jersey? Go look at the pandemic statistics. 7 of the top 10 states when it comes to fatality rate, and then a separate statistic when it comes to overall lives lost. 7 of the top 10 states in the country are Democrats. So when Jonathan Swan says, oh, I was talking about a percentage of population. Yeah, percentage of population. If you want to talk about per capita numbers, the per capita numbers are so horrible because you have states run by Democrats, Whitmer also in Michigan, Wolf in Pennsylvania, Pritzker in Illinois, where the highest per capita fatality rate is located within Democratic-run states. And they were trying to impeach him prior to that. And then they say, well, he knew about it. That was all public record knowledge. What he was telling Woodward, by the way, and how does Woodward and how does the intelligence community get away with simply keeping that information? They say, oh, well, he knew. Well, so did Woodward. If that's the case, so did Woodward. So Bob Woodward gets off the hook. Of course he didn't keep anything from the country. The country already knew it was serious. The FLU is serious. Okay? It's very serious. Very serious. This is worse, obviously. I'm talking, the golden moo in the house. You may call me Madam Cyberhack. I'm counting the days. I can't believe, just today, he's like, yesterday, George W. Bush. We've had 4 more years of George W. Bush. Four more years. George W. Bush. We can't have George W. Bush anymore. 4 more years of Bush. And then they say he's talking to George Lopez. I mean, they are so... Democrats are so delusional. The man was... Okay, Botox B was specifically golden moo. I'm talking... Thank you so very much, by the way. He was specifically talking to the camera or to the interviewer and answering a specific question, and then he went off into Never Neverland. And then he went off into Neverland. So you cannot say that this man has all his marbles intact. You cannot say. This is the thing. Life is not relative. You can't. And Amy Coney Barrett. It's fantastic that you have 3 Trump appointees, because if you're going to defund police, you better have a Second Amendment. Otherwise, you're asking for trouble. Okay, I don't live life. Nobody should live life paranoid, but you should you should go to bed at night knowing that you could protect yourself. I don't have a victim mentality. I don't have a mentality that, anyone can be harmed. It doesn't even matter how protected you are, how armed you are. You could still be harmed yourself. But I don't have a mentality that I'm going to allow myself to be a victim, especially when I was on the left, got a death threat. And so, and the LAPD officer, God bless him, said, hey, you know what? You should probably protect yourself. I don't have a victim mentality after that. Trust me. I'm going to, in defense of myself and my family, utilize the Second Amendment in defense, obviously, if somebody's trying to hurt you. The Second Amendment is not an offensive There's nothing offensive about that. It's a defense. You have a God-given right to protect yourself. Okay, that doesn't mean what we've seen from the left when the left gets real overzealous when they get a chance to utilize firearms. You've seen what was taking place in Colorado. A man was essentially executed. And then you've seen what's taking place in Portland. So the left, they're the biggest hypocrites of all time, but you need a strong Second Amendment. Then they say, well, laws protect citizens in New York and Illinois, in New York City and Chicago. You have had around 2,000 people who, despite the laws, in both cities have been shot. So you're going to talk about then there's the issue of media literally saying, yeah, the Washington Post literally came out with a story saying even if it's true, cover it as Russian disinformation. So I mean, their true colors have shined through. Hunter's Moon, thank you. Golden Moo, I'm talking. Thank you so very, very much. Count Boobala, happy birthday. Exactly. Hunter's Moon Grim. Wasn't Congress responsible to prep for U.S. health threats? Weren't Democrats in charge? Yeah. Why is that forgotten? Exactly. Well, also, they always flip the script. They always talk about what they would have done had they had a leader in Trump. Well, they didn't want... Okay. They don't want President Trump in office. They don't want him to lead. They don't care about anything he says. They don't consider him a president. They don't consider him a president. They do not consider him a president. They've been sore losers for 4 years. They suddenly have this. They suddenly have the viewpoint that words matter when you have both Clinton and Botox B using the phrase super predators who must be brought to heel and who lack empathy, and predators, and they all said the same things about people coming into the United States of America without documentation. Democrats said the same things without the ire of media. The media is disingenuous, and they create... Trump never said drink Clorox. Never even suggested it. See, they use a semantic game. The semantic game is Trump suggests. Trump has contacts. Inappropriate contacts. He suggests his handling of the protests. His handling of the pandemic. What does handling mean? What does suggesting mean? What does inappropriate contacts mean? They're absolutely meaningless words and phrases. But they evoke anything media wants evoked. They're these words that infer some kind of nefarious situation. He never worked with Russia, but he has had improper contacts. The Democratic Party's contacts were okay. Trump's handling of the pandemic was horrendous, but Cuomo's handling was very good, even though he's presiding over the epicenter of all the carnage. They use words as political tools, but that's one of the reasons they're going to lose, because they use words as political tools and they're not serious. Hunter's Moon, thank you, Angela Goodwin. If the Democrats would run the country during the pandemic, indeed, it might have cost $220 million, as they claim. Yeah, I mean, Look at what happened if the United States went the way of New York, New Jersey, and 8 other Democratic-run states. Democrats don't have a leg to stand on. They have no right to pontificate at all. They're the ones who botched the pandemic, not Trump. There's very little a president can do, especially after he had just been impeached. Furthermore, the second he banned travel, he was condemned by Democrats and Botox B. So, I mean, they play this game, and this game is if only we had leadership, but they don't want his leadership. Then they say if only we had leadership. Well, they don't want his leadership. Then they say if only we had leadership, but they don't want the man to be a leader. Then they say he's a horrible human being. I would rather take President Trump any day of the week over President Obama, who destroyed a country with a failed NATO intervention. I don't think that's a good human being right there. I also don't think you're a good human being if you drink Flint water and pretend that it's not poisonous. I also don't think you're a good human being if there's a Senate report that says that a situation that was worse than what took place under President Trump's immigration policy took place under President Obama without the condemnation of media. And you see what's taking place now with the computer belonging to the vice president's son. You see what's taking place. What they do is they are overt they serve as a fullback for the Democratic Party's candidate, which is a running back. They block out any story. They literally serve as a shield. And Democrats hide behind the shield of media. And they don't treat Trump the same way they treated President Obama. Because if there was a dossier about President Obama that was unverified, everyone would have said this is nonsense. With Trump, oh my God, it's true. And you see now with the computer that literally belongs to the vice president's son, because they're not here's the thing, they didn't deny it. Trump denied this dossier the second it came out because it was obviously a fabrication. You want to talk about a correlation between the 1930s and 1940s Germans. There's a greater correlation between the Democratic Party and the 1930s and 1940s Germans than Trump or Republicans. Because Trump might say mean things, but he almost always directs those mean things at Democrats. And then Democrats say, oh my God, how are you? I mean, how dare you, after they've tried to poke and prod and set him up and frame him. Christian O'Brien, Trump has sealed the deal. Confirmation of ACB. The zombie apocalypse has begun. Pretty much. I mean, they're done. You look, ladies and gentlemen, at voter enthusiasm. What do you get from Trump? You get 3 Supreme Court judges. You get a reversal of President Obama and Bush's foreign policy, which I think is the most important thing we face as a country. They say climate change is an existential threat. Okay, in the long term it is. A truly existential threat that we face every day is the fact that we all live, and this is a fact, like tomorrow, the climate isn't, the world isn't going to end tomorrow because of climate change. The world could easily end tomorrow because of a nuclear confrontation brought about by the Lincoln Project people who have made every attempt to destabilize regions of the world under the guise of democracy. Well, why don't they go to Tripoli? Why don't they vacation in Tripoli or Baghdad or Kabul or any place where they've bought freedom and democracy and stability and prosperity. Oh, that's right, because they fear for their lives. Because their foreign policy has caused states to become failed states and has destabilized regions of the world. And why don't they visit Damascus? Didn't President Obama's $500 million that was sent to rebels, didn't that bring peace and prosperity? Oh, that didn't. That's right. That didn't happen. And everything is it was in the absurd context of, well, it helps Putin, or that helps Putin. See, Putin doesn't care. If they cared so much, they wouldn't have allowed, President Obama wouldn't have allowed 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. 20%. The Russians now own mines in the U.S., uranium mines in the U.S., and they're cool with it. They're okay. Democrats and media are fine. They think it's a commodity. Well, it is a commodity, but it's not one that you don't sell arms to your adversary. Why don't we just sell them ICBMs? Why don't we sell Putin tanks or jets? I mean, they have jets. Jets get sold all the time because the rebuttal was, well, uranium's a commodity. So what? And then they went so far. There's even a glut of uranium. It's so plentiful. Well, good. There's a lot of the arms dealers make a ton of money throughout the world. Why don't we just send Putin jets? We're sending them to other countries. They are too. What's the difference? Oh, okay. So that logic is warped. Democrats can't. They are literally saying that Biden was speaking to George Lopez. He was not speaking. He didn't say 4 more years of George Lopez. George Lopez was never president. He's a fantastic comedian, but he was never president. He said 4 more years of George Lopez. Or 4 more years of George. Because he is completely lost his marbles. The man is completely and utterly lost his marbles. TX Les Paul. Bubala will be on Tucker Carlson tomorrow with incriminating Biden. Wow. Audio of operatives begging him not to talk and that he would bury them. Wow. TX Les Paul. Wow. You basically, I'm telling you, like, honestly, there are people I've known for my whole life now. Like the phone, just because people are so like, the phone is now a big time weapon. I mean, it's just, not that I have anything like incriminating to hide or like, I don't say bad things, but it's like, if you're telling somebody something about your life or something, it's like, you know what? You can't trust anyone nowadays. You can't trust anyone, especially not disgruntled Democrats, and especially not, people who want to peddle access to the vice presidency. Christian O'Brien has. There's so much. There used to be HA derangement syndrome. It's pretty much almost non-existent because I got off Twitter and Facebook. So, which was the best. It was perhaps it was definitely one of the best. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Literally one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Old school dad, man. Christian O'Brien, thank you. Old school dad, man. Raiders hat wins. It's almost party time, and HA can't wait for the third. I can't wait for the third either. I'm going to vote in the next couple of days. And obviously I'm going to vote for President Trump. He's a trillion times better than than what the Democrats are and who they have or who they will have. And I love his foreign policy. I think President Trump is a much better human being than people give him credit for. I think that the media, if media wanted to destroy anyone on the planet, they could, aside from certain people like President Trump. It's very difficult to hurt people who don't care about what you think. It's very, very difficult to hurt people who don't care about what you think. And Trump doesn't give a you-know-what about what media thinks. Old school dad man! Thank you. I know you'll be here partying, old school dad man. I know you'll be here partying. Count Boobala! Arya came to the party, of course. Arya, hello. Arya, hello. Count Boobala. HSC sharing a bottle of Sasquatch. Exactly. The Yeti. Boobala. Christian O'Brien. We're almost at the point where we need to go to Damascus or Tripoli in order to... What destabilized looks like. Oh, that's right. We don't need to go. I know. We're almost there. Exactly. Christian O'Brien. Thank you. Amy Coney Barrett. If Democrats are upset, they first of all altered the rules of the Senate. You wouldn't have had Neil Gorsuch. You wouldn't have had Kavanaugh. You wouldn't have had Amy Coney Barrett if Harry Reid didn't alter the rules of the Senate. They did this to themselves. They cheated themselves. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They lose the election. They blamed Russia. They altered the rules of the Senate to make They altered the rules of the Senate to make the vote a simple majority as opposed to a 60-vote supermajority. And then they say, oh my God, Trump rammed it through. Oh my God, look what he's doing. It's so horrible. It's like you did this to yourself. And then they say, well, this is not fair. You knew the rules. You don't like Democrats have this is how horrible the Democratic Party is. This is how absolutely horrible they are. They have every conceivable possible advantage. Media, social media, Hollywood, money, fundraising. No scandal is really addressed. No controversy is really evaluated or analyzed. Now everything is a Russian disinformation campaign, even though John Ratcliffe, the director of national intelligence, states that it wasn't disinformation. These are accurate. The emails are accurate. They're the biggest hypocrites. They're completely disingenuous, but they have every single possible advantage, and they still are going to lose. Their only claim to fame was the House, and that was actually a benefit. I say this with all due respect. AOC is the biggest gift to President Trump. You couldn't find a political present or this gift to an opposing political side. You couldn't find a better gift. And now AOC is saying, well, it's okay that he doesn't want to ban fracking. It's all right. At least we want a direction. This is the left. They're just... Okay. How many elections do they need to realize that there are people who are funneling votes, whether it's Bernie Sanders or the Medicare for All people who said vote for Clinton and who will say now vote for Democrats in 2020? How many times do you have to get burned and pummeled and cheated and used? How many times? If I have a significant other and I'm making dinner after dinner and that person stiffs me, at what point do I say, gosh, maybe he or she isn't that into me? At what point do you continually get cheated and lied to if you are on the left? Do you say, you know what, I'm never voting Democrat? Because at the end of the day, the same people you're worried about, look, my friends, my true friends have stayed with me. The people who weren't really my friends, this is actually, this era of politics can weed out all the people who don't really care about you, which is actually, in a way, you should probably look at it as a good thing. The people who said, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're voting for Trump, they weren't really your friends. Maybe they were at one time. And maybe they were at one time. But they're not really, it's not the same now. Justin Mooney, 2 indicators of Dem defeat. Biden admits and showcases irrelevance by calling the final stretch lid. I know, that's bizarre, Justin Mooney. That's bizarre. What is that? What is that about? Even I'm looking at that and saying, I'm like, I have never seen an adversary. I have never seen an adversary so inept in my entire life. I mean, I have never seen an adversary so inept. Oh, now we have factcheck.org. A false claim on social media suggests former Vice President Joe Biden has stopped all in-person campaigning. Quick take. Full story. So what do they get at? Headlines peddling the false claim appear on a website. Okay. So according to the Washington, Biden will visit Georgia. He'll visit Georgia on October 27th. He'll visit Georgia? What is that? Why? They're not going to get Georgia. What is it with Democrats? But why don't they just campaign in Alabama for 4 years and then expect to win the election? We're going to win Alabama. No, you're not. No, you're not. We're going to win Mississippi. No, you're not. And he plans to be in Florida. Okay, October 29th. Okay, great. You probably should campaign in someplace other than Georgia, but that's fine. Do what you want. Whatever. So apparently he doesn't have the lid. Who knows? The whole thing's, he's not even campaigning. I think they're tanking this on purpose. So I know people are going to say, HA, I was at the Pulse. What's going on? I don't know. Something's weird. I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. My prediction still stands pertaining to Madam Secretary replacing Biden. Of course, my prediction of Trump winning 100%, I've said this for 4 years, will take place. Justin, thank you. Harry, thank you. California veteran, who is George Trump? California veteran, thank you. California veteran, Thanksgiving. There's no need to gloat. A pumpkin pie. Yeah, get out of my house. Trump 8 years, what's up? California veteran, thank you. Angela Goodwin, thank you, California veteran, thank you. There is a saying in Hungary, sometimes the ice cream licks back. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Well, it just happened today with the Senate. Yes. Angela Goodwin, I love that. I love that expression. Oh my God. I love that. Thank you, Angela Goodwin. Thank you. TX Les Paul. Site. Yeah, TX Les Paul. I've heard a lot of rumors. Bizarre rumors. So they're just so corrupt that I've heard it's just they're so corrupt. TX Les Paul. I don't know what to think. Even I don't know. Honestly, I want the victory. Give us the victory. I want the victory. TX Les Paul had Dean Carey. Thank you, TX Les Paul. As always, thank you. Dean Carey. Another Aussie fan, HA. Madam Moo will run. She couldn't have Harris breaking that glass. I agree with you, Dean Carey. I'm still, to my Australian viewers, thank you, Dean. Thank you so very, very much. I have such amazing viewers in Australia, UK, Canada, Nepal. Very, 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 very thankful. I've had viewers in the Ivory Coast. I'm very, very, very thankful. Hong Kong, Mexico. Dean, to my Australian viewers, you are all absolutely wonderful. And I agree. I don't see something going on here. Let's see. Let's see. We got Tuesday. We got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I find it very difficult. I find it very difficult for them to. I don't understand, because they're tanking their election, and they've tanked their election for the past. They've tanked their election for the past 6-7 months. So they can't be deliberately tanking their election, or could they? Even I'm questioning now. You know, in my attempt to understand Democratic insanity, I've actually probably give them more credit. So therefore, it's not my fault. No, I'm joking. This is bizarre. Dean Carey, thank you so much, Dean. Scorp Target. Happy birthday to the Golden Moon. That's right. ACB, greatest gift from President Trump. Exactly. I love it. Exactly. Scorp Target. Happy birthday. Scorp Target. This is JFK with Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Amy Coney Barrett. Or happy birthday, Mrs. Could have been president, but the Russians stole it after you cheated Bernie Sanders. Happy birthday to you. Scorp Target, California veteran. For the Thanksgiving shout out of me dying. You like that, huh? Thanksgiving, California veteran. You like that? Thank you so very much. We're only having sweet potato. Huh? A sweet potato? We're not having no turkey. Well, why not? Because Trump going to get years. Leave. Get out of my house. What's up? California veteran. Scorp Target. Jay, hello. Don't ever debate anyone. First of all, you have to be not very smart to debate a waiter or waitress, because they're going to put like rat poison in your food. And that's with Trump going 8 years. Like, it'll be a year from now, and I'll be like, 64 million Americans voted for Trump again. We won. And then I'll see like a person like with a little badge says no Trump. I'm not going to say anything. Even if they're like, so who did you vote for? I'm like, you're taking my order. So who do you want me to vote for? How's that? Don't tell your hairstylist. Okay? They'll ruin your hair. Don't tell your waiter, waitress. Just, live through the restaurant experience. Don't tell them. They'll make your cheeseburger into a salmonella burger. Don't do it. Okay? What else? Your doctor? Don't get into politics with your doctor unless you know that he support my doctor is amazing. So just family doctor, just awesome Persian Jewish man, loves Trump. Can't stand Democrats, so we talk. But if it was like if my doctor didn't, I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, whatever, doc. Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah. Don't tell your surgeon. You go into like heart surgery. I just want to tell you, Trump forever. Okay. Gosh, it was touch and go. Sorry. Trumper. One less Trumper. God forbid. Okay. Don't tell anyone. Just don't tell anyone. Just don't tell any, like, nail salon if you're, give them the worst nails possible. Yeah, they'll chip in 2 seconds. Don't tell anyone. Do you understand? It's just enjoy the There's no reason to gloat. Do you understand? Old school dad man. Old school dad man. Always said it was like Trump running plugs. He calls them plugs. I love it. Easy work. I know. It's bizarre. Something's going on. I don't trust them at all. My prediction of Clinton replacing Biden still stands. I don't trust these. I don't trust them. Well, of course, my prediction for 4 years of Trump going 8 years, which if I'm going to get heat about the Hillary, then I should get praise and love for the 8 years of Trump. I don't trust it. Public Enemy had a song, Can't Trust It. I don't trust them. Hey, something going on. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them. He was talking about George Lopez. No, he wasn't. He was talking about George W. Bush. Botox B's brain is like a 1984 Intellivision console. You know, stuck in an attic for like 30 plus years. Who knows if it's working? Maybe it is sometimes. Who knows? It's really bizarre. Really bizarre. I don't trust them at all. Something's going on. Something's going on. Andy, something's going on. I don't know what it is. How many times do you need to find lipstick on the collar of your husband before you're like, is something going on? This lipstick, you are talking, this is what Putin wants you to know. Yeah, the Putin, so you think that I'm seeing another woman because of this lipstick? Okay, so you have bought into Russian disinformation? You've bought into Russian disinformation. So you know Putin wants to destroy this marriage. Okay? So there you go. There you go. No, you need to apologize to me. Old school dad man. PJP72, what's the difference? Did he really campaign in the first place? I know, a few appearances screaming at beeping. Can you believe that too? It's really bizarre. We're not like those chumps. Hey, come on now, chumps. Chumpy. Hey, Shema, everybody. I got a funny. You want to know what rhymes with Trump? It's called. It's chump. Where am I? And Trump and chump. Get it? They both have ump. Ha! Cornflakes. Erect leg hairs. That was when I used to like play videos of Botox B, just the audio. Then that was an issue, and I was like, I'm not going to even deal with this. So I don't even play the audio, but he was like, that speech was like, I just want to sit on his hand, just put lotion on my legs and get the legs and that leg hair erect. Right? Doesn't everybody have that? He's always like, Democrats are like, yeah, doesn't everybody have that? Doesn't everybody have that issue? Don't you put lotion on your legs and then... Generally, if you put lotion, oftentimes it wouldn't... Whatever. It really doesn't matter anymore, does it? It doesn't matter anymore. We're slowly... And then the autopsy on that campaign. Well, God, we told everybody about the erect leg hairs. He looks like he can't communicate, and he's one fry short of a Happy Meal. I mean, he wrote the crime bill. What more do people want? He destroyed Libya. Then we have pay-to-play schemes. I mean, isn't this what people want? No. Christian O'Brien, sweet potato, and that's funny, but in Mitch McConnell voice.
Nancy, why don't you come over my house for a little Kentucky Fried Chicken and some sweet potatoes and a turkey, Kentucky Fried Turkey for Thanksgiving. In fact, Nancy, what we'll do is we're not even going to have turkey. We're going to have sweet potatoes, a sweet potato pie, and pumpkin pie. You want to know why? Nancy? Want to know why we're having a pumpkin pie only? Because it's orange like Trump. Can you get it? Because Trump has orange hair. Get it? Nancy, why are you walking away? I thought it was absolutely funny. Come back here, Nancy. We're going to have a pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie.
Armadillo Tex. You think Joan Rivers should have kept... Do you think Joan Rivers should have kept... Joan Rivers? She passed away, but is she trending? What's going on? Joan Rivers. Armadillo Tex. I played poker once with Armadillo Tex. Joan Rivers. Love Joan Rivers. No, it's fantastic that she was who she was. Joan Rivers, one of the greats. Armadillo Tex. Thank you, Armadillo Tex. Thank you. Jay Dillinger. HA, I agree. Dims have something up their sleeve. They have some nefarious plan. I'm sure it's going to spearhead. Jay, I agree with you. I don't know what it is. Something doesn't make any sense. Jay, thank you. Something doesn't make any sense. Something's going on. They're still going with Botox B, the exhumed body. I don't know what it is. Something's weird. Maybe they want to get all the mail-in votes and then pull the switcheroo last second so then they could say, hey, look, we found 300,000 new votes for Madam Secretary. That's bizarre. How did that happen? Something's going on. Jay Dillinger. Thank you, Jay. Something's going on. I don't know what. Why would they tank their campaign? Why would you throw interceptions? Why would you allow the ball to get stolen? You should be surprised when your opponent steals the ball. You should be upset when you throw interceptions. Okay? When you strike out, you're supposed to be unhappy. You're not supposed to be happy. They're like really happy. Oh, we strike out, yay! I don't understand it. By the way, Dodgers, please, 7th world title. Kershaw needs that ring. I want Kershaw to get that ring. Astros did us dirty. Astros make the Democrats look like... Or actually, the Democrat, I don't know. I think the Astros make the Democrats look like, the most honest people in the world. Oh, my God. Jay, thank you. Thank you, Jay. Christian O'Brien. They both have ump. Christian O'Brien. Jay, thank you. Christian O'Brien, thank you. Arya Lee, your Mitch impersonation.
Thank you, Arya. Thank you so very much. Arya, I can tell you that you being on this chat is a fantastic thing. Be here on November 4th, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th.
Arya, thank you. Scorp Target. Botox B looks exactly like the main villain in the Tall Man in the movie The Phantasm. Come on, boy, change my mind. Hold on. Let me look at, The Tall Man. I haven't seen a movie in a long time. Let's see. Wow. Oh, my God. His name is Angus Scrim, which is actually what Botox B's son uses to when he gets into motels. What's your name? Hunter Angus Scrim. Yeah, I just put that. Oh, my God, he does. Scorp target. Oh my god. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Yeah. Yeah. This is like the better looking version of... This is actually the younger, more spry version of Botox B. They're like, look, he's on a bicycle. So what? Wow. Oh my god. He's got more hair. I'll tell you that. Scorp target. Scorp target. That's awesome. Let me keep look. I can't. You know what? I can't look at this man anymore. Oh my god. Scorp target. Thank you. Scorp target. Thank you, J-Man. Change my vote. Yeah, I heard that. J-Man, I heard that. But I feel I'm kind of upset with those people. I'm like, you didn't know this after a year or 47 years? J-Man, thank you. Mad Cow Mark. Good morning to all sick of not getting reminders. And believe me, I need reminders. Mad Cow Mark. Mad Cow Mark. Every day, 1 p.m. Pacific and then 9 p.m. Pacific, which Australian time. I think it's it's obviously the daytime, your time. It's Wednesday. So Tuesday night will be Wednesday in the day, your time. Australia. Thank you, Mad Cow Mark. So wait, what time is it now? Let's see, what time in Canberra? Let's see, Canberra time. Oh, it's 4:45 p.m. now. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I knew that. 4:45 p.m. That's right. Nice. Mad Cow Mark to the Australian viewers. Oh my goodness, thank you. Mad Cow Mark. Angela Goodwin. Today, Miss HSC is in. I'm making you a kuksma Hungarian boiled wool hat. Thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you. The day boiled wool hat. Nice. Let me look that up. It's good for my diet. That's full of minerals and vitamins. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, what is that? I'm trying to find it. Can't find it. Okay. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Oh, this is unsweetened, Tom. Unsweetened, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Linda. Yeah. Linda, this is unsweetened. Not that I would care, because this is basically soda here. So, Linda, thank you. So, Amy, Coney Island, Barrett, whatever. I'm tired. Oh, by the way, my website's coming out in a couple of days. I know I've been saying that for about 7 months now, but it's almost there. The 48 senators who voted against Barrett represent 13.5 million more people than the 52 senators who voted for her. Tell me why that would even matter, liberals. You get this wonderful thing from a liberal publication. Who cares? Yes, the most populous states. The most populous states are Democrat. Well, two of the most. You have California and New York, but you also have Texas. That's Republican. Like, what does that even matter? What does that matter? If you wanted to make everything a popularity contest, we wouldn't have had the civil rights movement. Because the country was a completely different world back then. Or let's put it this way, we wouldn't have been able as a country to enact laws to protect African American and black citizens if it was just one person, one vote, because the entire South would vote against civil rights. If you did away with the Senate, if you made everything just a direct democracy. So, and they don't even have, they don't really have the Democratic Party has state primaries. You don't want a direct democracy because then you have media that can sway the votes of millions. When people say Trump's handling of the pandemic was bad, but Cuomo's handling is good, that's media. That's media right there. And then they say, well, the polls show he's really up. The polls are not addressing. If media doesn't show the country, if media does not show the country that Botox B, the exhumed body, has let's see here. Hold on one second. Okay, let's look at if you just say, oh well, we have to I'm trying to look at something right here. So hold on one second. You don't want a direct democracy because then media would have, well, it already does, but it would have an enormous influence on the future of the country. It would have too much of an influence on the future of the country. You wouldn't have President Trump. You wouldn't have civil rights legislation. You wouldn't have a lot of things. What makes our country unique is we have a House of Representatives based on population and a Senate that gives small states the right to give their voice, to allow their voice to be heard, their voices to be heard. Okay, so you don't want one person, one vote when it comes to legislation. You want to have a House of Representatives and a Senate. You want to have, and a Supreme Court. You want to have a separation of powers. But Democrats think that because they have the media promotes their existing biases, and then Democrats think that actually their biases are reality. No, it's not. Media doesn't reflect reality. They promote what Democrats think is reality, and then they lose elections, and then they blame Russia. You look here. I'm looking at something right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, Angela, thank you. Beverly, hi, HA. What a fantastic birthday for Hillary. Pretty much, Beverly. It was. I'm sure it was a fantastic. I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was very happy. Very happy. They keep losing. They keep on losing. It's unbelievable. Beverly, November 3rd is going to be fantastic. Mr. T, thank you. I'm subbing. Thank you, Mr. T. I actually met Mr. T, and he was one of the nicest people I've ever met. He was awesome. Met him. I was with an ex-girlfriend, and we went to the same bank. And I saw him at the bank. And he was just awesome. And I gave him a hug. Gave Mr. T a hug, and he was just awesome. Just a great person. That moment I was able to. And if I saw like any like Brad Pitt or whatever, I'd be like, whatever, who cares? And I saw Mr. T, I was like, oh my. They grew up with Mr. T. Mad Cow Mark, Beverly, thank you. Mad Cow Mark. Russell Finch, and I get out of lockdown from midnight today, Wednesday, Melbourne, Australia. Street. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. Thank God. That's good. California's still on lockdown. Unfortunately. But it's interesting. It's interesting that you have President Trump who will win despite every conceivable disadvantage. Every conceivable disadvantage. Democrats will lose with every conceivable advantage. Mad Cow Mark, congrats. Mazel tov. Mad Cow Mark, thank you. Enjoy. Wow. Wow. Richard CNS. My dog Lucy for Trump. Hashtag fire. Lucy for Trump. Awesome. Richard CNS. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard CNS. Thank you. You look at let's just look at the hilarious thing is, I want to see this. This is how delusional they are. This is Biden was speaking to George Lopez in widely shared video. No, he wasn't. He was in the middle of a sentence. This is the biggest lie of all time. No, Biden did not confuse George W. Bush and Donald Trump. Who believes this? Like, they're so delusional. They're so delusional that their rebuttals or their attempts at fabricating, their attempts at warping and fabricating and sweeping reality under the rug, they literally make things up. And when they're caught, they don't accept it. See, in this day and age, the one thing we're kind of seeing the internet work, because you can't really hide from the truth in the long term. The long term, you can't, like, if every election a computer is going to come out that shows incriminating evidence of how corrupt Democrats are, not everything's relative. People are not taking this in terms of moral relativism. People don't say, well, they're all so bad. Most people understand Democrats are infinitely worse. He wasn't speaking to George Lopez. How is he speaking to George Lopez when he was in mid-sentence saying we can't have 4 more years, and then what? He suddenly turned to George Lopez and said, George? No, he wasn't. What did George Lopez say, hey, talk to me as he's in mid-sentence? Mad Cow Mark, POTUS is orange. Mad Cow Mark, thank you. Turbo Jones. Turbo Jones. Mad Cow Mark. The truth about them is in their own writing, in their own data. Here's something that you should do if you're a Democrat, okay? You probably shouldn't use a computer because your depravity will come out. So you should probably don't even write letters. Don't even write letters. Even like messenger pigeon won't work because you have to write the letter. Unless you can train a parrot, but parrots can't be like, give me the money, money, access, vice presidency. Even that wouldn't work. You need to train some kind of dolphin or something. If you could do that, and whale sound, and then they decipher it, it's this is pay to play. Let's meet at the Coffee Bean, and you'll get to meet the big man. And I got to give the big man 10 to 50% of my money. You need a democratic flipper that you can actually the whale sounds and the sonar. You need to just hide your communication. That's basically what you need. You can't don't use a computer. What's wrong with you? Don't use a computer. Do not use a computer ever again if you're a Democrat. It will not behoove you to use a computer. Don't do it. You don't need to. It's gonna come out. Your son on major substance abuse, which, by the way, technically he should have experienced the 100-to-1 sentencing disparity. He's a good liberal, Caucasian liberal, good liberal. They don't run by the rules they set for the humanity. But Trump is the supremacist, but they're not supremacist. That's fine. Destroy Libya. Mistake. It's a mistake. Oh, really? What was your biggest mistake in life? Did you destroy a country? Nah. You're better than President Obama and Clinton and Botox bead the exhumed body. Oh, my God. The meltdown will be absolutely fantastic. And when President Trump gets more than 63 million voters, because here's the issue, Turbo and Mad Cow Mark and everybody here. Here's the issue. Christian O'Brien, thank you. Thank you, Christian O'Brien, thank you. Here's the issue. The issue is the following, okay? The issue is that Trump was always going to go 8 years. Democrats could have made it very close if they didn't lie all the time. If they didn't set him up and frame him. And the mentality is, no, you have to make it seem like the sky is falling every day. Media. See, what media did is that the only weapon media has is to distort reality. if they can distort reality, because the reality of Trump is mundane and boring. We had record low unemployment, and he said a couple things that are, crude here and there. But if our culture didn't elevate and amplify celebrity beefs, which make no difference in your life, or, Hollywood, what they say on Twitter pertaining to Trump. If Twitter didn't exist, there would be no Democratic Party. And you probably wouldn't have because Twitter generates all of the vitriol. It helps generate, it helps amplify, it helps create that drive, because all the negativity. Okay, there should be no negativity involved between a debate over who's the best, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. But you see negativity, getting people getting angry on social media. That's supposed to be a fun discussion. Like, things that are innocent have now turned into calamities on social media because there's no context. As if we didn't have a lack of positive human interaction enough. Now we have the lockdowns and everything, but it's Trump, if accurately reported on, is not this cataclysmic orange meteor from outer space. He's a president, a Republican president. No scandal. That's no real scandal. Didn't work with Russia. He didn't pressure anyone. If asking Zelensky to look into Biden was warranted now. Well, we knew it was warranted before because of the questions, but now we have the actual proof. And it wasn't pressuring anybody. There was no leverage. There was no direct evidence. It was all conjecture and hyperbole, and he did this and he did that. We think he did this. We think he did that. That's it. And media squandered the one thing it had, which was a certain level of trust. Now, no matter what they say, everyone looks at media and says, okay, we're not going to trust the prevailing narrative. The one thing the New York Times and the Washington Post had wasn't the ability to report. It wasn't even the ability to create a narrative. It was trust. You had a certain level of trust that you flushed down the toilet. So people now go to news sources they trust. Okay, I'm not right about everything, but people who enjoy my channel enjoy my mindset. And I read from public record, Washington Post, New York Times. I'm always reading. I remember people would say to me when I was on the left, oh, well, all he does is read from the New York Times and the Washington Post and then comment on it. I was like, yeah, that's what you should do. That's what you should do. Now, everybody's doing that now. They squandered whatever trust was left. They squandered whatever trust was left. And now, when there is a story detrimental to Botox B, the exhumed body, it spreads like wildfire. Because we know what the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, and MSNBC want to do. When they don't accurately quote Trump, and then they talk about what he meant, or they misquote him, or just blatantly fabricate a quote, We know, like, logic has not. If you have logic, basic logic, you're voting for Trump, or you could be voting for Biden just because you like certain policies, but you're not disliking Trump because he said something he never said, or he stands for something he doesn't stand for, or he worked with Russia. He pressured Ukraine. He's a threat to national security. He's in the 1930s, 1940s Germans all over again, which, by the way, I can't say the word. If you're watching in Germany, God bless you. I'm talking about the 1930s and 1940s Germans. I can't say the word on YouTube. But once Democrats brought up the most absurd and obscene analogies or metaphors to say Trump is this, He is the reincarnation of 1930s and 1940s Germans. The moment they said this, they lost 2020. The moment in 2016 when they engaged in the most dishonest, disingenuous, hyperbolic statements that have no basis in reality and that actually are a very shameful, shameless, and, dangerous attempt at revisionist history. The second they did this, the second they equated the horrors of that time period, the absolute inhumanity, the indescribable atrocities and tried to say, well, Trump's mean words will lead to this, then you've lost the debate forever. You've lost. Politics is about ideas. And there's a whole lot of propaganda, and there's a whole lot of misinformation and disinformation and hyperbole, but it's about ideas. Democratic Party ideas don't resonate. Okay? Medicare for all is a noble idea. It doesn't resonate. It doesn't even resonate to Pelosi. Like, you first have to get past Pelosi before you get to everyone else in the world. It doesn't even resonate past Pelosi. And what AOC does is traps all the hopes and dreams, and you have all the pundits who trap all the hopes and dreams of people on the far left or the left, package them into new votes for the Democratic Party. But they've lost the battle of ideas. Aria Lee, 115 million votes for Trump, in my opinion, this year. That would be amazing. I hope so. I think it's going to probably be, because there were 63 million, Arya, in Christendom. Hello. I agree. There were 63 million in 2016. I think there's going to be about 64, 65 million. I think about 64 million. Helmut Norpoth, the Stony Brook professor, who's fantastic, he talked about the early primaries. And the early primaries are a fantastic indicator of the level of enthusiasm that a candidate has. If you're not doing well in Iowa, in New Hampshire, or Nevada, if you win one of those states, that's one thing. See, if Botox B won just one of those states, if he won one of those states and then did poorly in two others, it could be a challenge for President Trump, which it's not going to be, but it could be. If he does dreadful in all three of those states and then gets saved by South Carolina, because Democrats have a state primary system. Isn't that interesting how they want to do away with the Electoral College and the Senate? Well, they want to do away with the Senate, but they want to keep their superdelegates. I mean, they literally want to do away with the Senate. And when they say, well, we have the most people, so what? So what? You want to go by a direct vote on society? Throughout the history of America, you wouldn't have the advancements we've had in terms of all aspects of life. And anyway, that's not the way the country is set up. The Constitution is not there. Where in the Constitution is there a direct democracy? Like, there's a specific attempt at making sure that states, even small states, have their voice heard. So it's actually pretty brilliant. I mean, you have the House of Representatives that gives more populous states a greater voice. And then you have the Senate that gives smaller states equal voice, which is perfect. Why should we have different state? Why should we have a federal and state government if it's just direct democracy? So you can have in Colorado and California and other states, marijuana use is legal, but not in Alabama or Oklahoma. And so, like, how does that work if you want a direct democracy? You just vote on it throughout the country? Throughout the country, how many? Okay, so let's see. There are now only, let's see. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 states where cannabis is completely legal. Okay, the rest of the country, there are restrictions, or it's just not legal. So, how does that work? You want a direct vote on that, then you'll never get legalization, which should happen on a federal level. I mean, there's so many. You will never get a Green New Deal, that's for sure. You'll never get Medicare for all, that's for sure. Christian O'Brien, good night, fantastic job. Thank you, Christian. Thank you so very, very much. And thank you. Day. And it was a victory for President Trump. It was a victory for the country. You knew the rules. You lost the election. You knew if you cheated Bernie Sanders that this would happen. Or if you didn't know, I was telling you. I was telling you the following for a long time. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Be here in about 10 minutes, everybody. About 10 minutes. I will have an upload. Thank you so very, very, very much. Upload on this channel. Be here tomorrow at 10 p.m. I mean, at 1 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Pacific. Thanks, everybody. God bless. You are all amazing. Luke and Eric, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Be here in